Ja, 10 Jahre High-Speed Grinding.
Well, looking back at 10 years of high-speed grinding, this is, well, three reasons why we decided to talk about high-speed grinding. Well, it's the 10-year anniversary of commercial use here in Germany. This is reason number one. The second reason, the topics we address by means of high-speed grindings are even more up-to-date than 10 years ago. That's acoustics and work site optimization. And number three, we are somewhat proud of what we have achieved in the past decade. And I would like to use the 15-minute slot allocated to me to, well, guide you through the 10 years of high-speed grinding. What have we achieved? What is the current state of play? And I would like to give you an outlook of where we want to go in the future. You see a few pictures here relating to high-speed grinding technology, the very beginnings with a prototype we well called a toy, and as of 2001 we used it, our first attempts to develop the technology, and then in 2007 it was a real milestone because we built a machine which can be used for grinding purposes, you can use it for commercial purposes, and in 2007, 10 years ago, we started on a commercial level. 5 years later, we came up with a more state-of-the-art piece of machinery, and 1 year later, we had this local transport solutions, and and today we're out there with more than a dozen pieces of machinery in more than 10 countries. So, why, more than 10 years ago, did we decide to address this completely new technology? At that particular time, we were a company that took a deep look at rail renewal, and we were confronted with an exponential increase in rail defects due to higher speeds, more transport, more traction, new types of steel. And in this particular context, there was a call for more prevention, and the request to grind rails more frequently, more regularly, and this call for more prevention, of course, comes up against operational hurdles, because more prevention, more processing of the rails actually implies less time to have trains running on the tracks, and we wanted to resolve this conflict. We wanted to find a tool that would enable us to come up with more prevention, but be less disruptive in terms of operations. And until 2007, each time of track processing was associated with a track closure, with comprehensive prior planning, and we wanted to resolve this dilemma, so to speak. And this is what we actually did with the high-speed grinding technology. We've got the only technology worldwide that manages to grind rails within schedule at 80 kilometers per hour without track position times, without any comprehensive pre- and post-planning. It runs like a freight train, and it then, resolves the target conflict. It grinds the rails but doesn't disrupt the schedule. What you can see here is a selection of the countries we are working in. It's not that we add new countries each and every year. Technology is more widely accepted, more and more, because the problems encountered are the same everywhere. The challenges encountered are the same everywhere. So it's technology that is finding great appeal amongst people. Then with Deutsche Bahn, DB, since 2007, we've been out there, we've been using it for 10 years, in particular in areas where Deutsche Bahn has got its corridors, or east, west, north, south, where we've got the high-speed lines, premium lines, where each and every minute of track position really hurts, and where the benefits of high-speed grinding can be harnessed to a maximum. You can see it on the red lines here. Those we are working on for Deutsche Bahn. Over the years, we have then use the areas of use of high-speed grinding prevention in terms of rolling contact, fatigue, defects, and we further develop the possible uses. And this is something everybody is talking about it, or as one of the big Damocles swords for rails. So it's noise in agglomeration areas in particular. When I frequently grind rails, I do preventive work. I avoid corrugation and waves on the rails. I can, a rail which doesn't have any waves, corrugation, is a low noise rail. There are some low noise brakes. What does it help when the rail is out there and has got waves? So we have developed our system for acoustic and low noise users. You can see what happens over time, that I can turn a corrugated rail into a really smooth one. And this is what it looks like in real life. And you can really imagine that it's, low noise. The noise is definitely reduced. And another topic that came up about 2 to 3 years ago, we started with pilot tests between Nuremberg and Ingolstadt, but we rolled it out in many German lines now, is that we also grind switches, and this is something that for most conventional methods doesn't work. Just like that, in the first years of rail processing, we left out the switches, these points, and in the meantime, in the high-speed lines that have got many movable points, we drive through, and so we grind these switches too. And so the prevention, the switch just needs, as the rails can be rolled out, and the customers do not need to tackle this with two different methods, and can use the method for working on switches and rails. Another point, an important milestone, was our use in China due to the breathtaking network of high-speed lines that require a maximum quality of rail quality. And we trying to gain a foothold as a service provider. It was a major challenge. We managed to do so, and these days we are preparing the next machine for deployment in China, and there it's Peking, Shanghai, and other high-speed lines, and it goes up to extremes like that. We go to the top high-speed line in China. That is really a challenge, for machinery and human being. 3,700 meters of altitude. This is where we process rails. Sometime after the interest in terms of local public transport increased, because local transport meets the same challenges, same framework, little time, residents don't like the noise, are highly sensitive there. So we have got a small scale form of high-speed grinding city we developed, and not far away in Düsseldorf we've had the first piece of machinery that has been out there for some years. It's out there each and every day. I got the figures of the machine. It has run this year. They have ground 4,000 kilometers without any track positions. And we have this taken over by other cities, and high-speed grinding is a real success story. You see how it works, what it looks like in the evening hours when the high-speed grinder moves through the city of Düsseldorf. Then we will continue. This is the outlook I would love to give you. We will continue with our developments. What we are currently doing is we are coming up with a machine between the high-speed grinding city and the full line machine, in particular designed for the local traffic, the Chinese market. This is a machine we are currently building, and next year we will roll it out. Then what we are doing is, well, something for the Gotthard Tunnel. That's the main freight rail line we went through with 2 cycles already for processing the rails. It's a real challenge in operational terms because there are hardly any closures and track positions. And what we managed is to lift the rail maintenance to a different level, and we would like to come up with further optimizations because it's highly important to the customers. And then last but not least, what we will do is we will develop the smart grinding train, and we are right in the middle of it. We will make sure that the grinding train in the future will respond a lot better to the actual condition of the rail. We will make sure that all the data acquired during the passes and these grinding trains go through thousands of kilometers and acquire plenty of data. We want to ensure that we can better utilize the data to give our customers better possibilities to engage in prevention. So this is the outlook. These were my 15 minutes. Well, it's not a lot of time, and I could, well, continue for another 1 or 2 hours regarding our plans and what we have experienced in the previous 10 years. We haven't, only had easy times, but we're highly proud of what we have managed to do together with our customers. Without this cooperation, we would never have done it. It's a certain degree of confidence, of trust, and we, handed this trust back and rewarded it, and we think that there will be plenty of good news from our house and plenty of innovations. Thank you.